Hey everybody, I'm Jonna and welcome to Trading with Master Jack. In this video we're going to be speaking about the MACD indicator. What is the MACD indicator? Moving Average Convergence Divergence is calculated by subtracting the 26 period exponential moving average from the 12 period EMA. The result of that calculation is the MACD line. That is a more responsive line to the price. And then a 9-day EMA of the MACD called the signal line is then plotted on top of the MACD line. Now the general thesis of the MACD is that the MACD triggers technical signals of buying and selling when it crosses above to buy or below to sell its signal line. Now if it was all that simple, then we'd all be making a lot of money. But the indicator doesn't always work like this in real market conditions, and there are many other factors one always has to take in consideration. That's why not always put full weight, or make an indicator to be an end all, because at the end of the day this is also a lag indicator. It's just responding to what has happened in the market. So in this principle I generally use it then as a trend filter. So I use the higher time frame to indicate the possible trend to confirm a bullish or a bearish bias on a lower time frame. The speed of crossovers is also taken as a signal of a market being overbought or oversold, and this can indicate momentum reversal even. And this will be showing you some examples just now. MACD can indicate possible momentum breakouts from low momentum to high momentum, which is low volatility to high volatility, which you have heard me speak of in previous videos. So let's get into some examples of these 3 points. Okay, now our MACD example, using MACD as a trend filter to indicate the possible trend to confirm a bullish or bearish bias. You'll see I am on the weekly time frame, and just to go over this, this is our MACD indicator. You'll see there's settings 1226, that is the standard default settings. Our MACD line is this blue one, and it would be different on your chart most likely. If you, depending on the software or the trading platform you use, it could be a different color. So then, but you can also set that color to what you want to do to be, whatever your preference may be. And that is our signal line. In this case it's the orange line. Now using the trend filter, the MACD line triggers technical signals when it crosses above to buy or below to sell its signal line. And that was the general thesis of the MACD line crossovers. And but if you blindly trade situations like that, I mean, you look in this scenario, this is where the crossover happened, technically gave a buy signal, which would be in this area here. So yeah, not much room to have moved there, and because of this strong price rejection, I don't think it would be wise to enter into a buy position here, just because you do not know what's going to happen next. You just continued immediately down, but in this case it just went a little bit up and then went down. But yeah, that was generally an area of resistance here, which is most likely a response overall of a strong momentum movement here. But momentum reversals like this we do discuss just now. But now I'd like to get a focus on how we use this as a trend filter. So this is an ideal situation with this particular crossover here. Just show you that there isn't always ideal perfect situations. Over here though, we've got the crossover of the MACD line, where it goes below the signal line, which technically indicates a sell position, but in my case I use it as a trend filter, so we'll be looking for making short positions, looking for opportunities to sell, which in this particular case you can see that these 2 weeks here it had formed two shooting stars, which I do believe this is actually called the tweezer tops, which indicates a bearish direction. So that was actually a good entry trigger, especially because if the resistance here, this would be an area of value on a weekly time frame. So yeah, but of course you'd make your entries on the lower time frames to be more precise. So yeah, this indicates a downtrend and confirms a short bias that you would apply on the lower time frame. So you can see this would be quite a few months. I mean, this is a long journey that you would have a short bias on. And in this particular scenario, you see the MACD line is intersects above the signal line, which shows a long bias that you would use on the lower time frames whenever entering at an area value. So this shows uptrend. It almost seemed like it was uptrend here, but then we had this strong reversal, mainly because of this momentum that went upward. So you want to be careful for that. Even over here was a bit of momentum reversal, because this downtrend was actually very strong. But then you can see this is quite a few weeks that you can work with, going with a long bias. You definitely wouldn't want to be shorting in this type of scenario. And now, based on those two here, I'd actually just zoom in on this chart with a daily time frame so that we can focus in on this short bias and on this long bias. Here we go on the daily time frame, and there we've got it, 30 November and 5 July. That's where on the weekly time frames those intersections happened in this week and on these days. Now obviously the MACD doesn't look the same as the weekly time frame. Yeah, kind of an obvious one. This is the daily time frame, not the weekly. So here you can see where that whole downtrend was, and you'll be looking for short position sell opportunities along your area of value. If you're not sure what I mean by area of value, I have spoken about it in the what is a trading plan part 1, where we go into some detail about area value. That just helps increase your possibility or your probability of setting up for a good winning trade. And over there we had in the uptrend we look for buying opportunities from an area of value as well. Now this is quite a few weeks here in the terms of the time frame. 2.5, 3 months is quite a bunch of months over here, from this December here going through up to even June here. So there's a good 6-7 months of downward trading that you can apply. Now into momentum reversal, our second example. Then we've got our resistance and support, or area of support, area of resistance. And there you see the price direction was quite parabolic. It went straight up there into resistance, very strong momentum. And you can see that on the histogram, very strong momentum there. And you even see that the MACD line was quite overextended in this upper direction and has to pull back, has to come back down. The momentum has to reverse. It has to go from high volatility to low volatility. And that would be a great opportunity to make an entry. As you can even see with this rejection of price, there was a shooting star there. So yeah, you see momentum going up strong, and followed by the reversal going downward. The intersection of the MACD line over there, you can see happens over there technically, and if you were to use that as an entry trigger, sure, but you could have actually entered much earlier in this type of scenario, just because of the momentum reversal that is going to be evident in this scenario, with the MACD line being overextended there and this parabolic movement, and then it went downward. So that would be a great opportunity to go short again from that place of resistance as an area value. And there also strong momentum relative to the rest of the chart, coming down there with a momentum reversal to that point. Even back there was strong momentum going downward from here. I just don't have that in the chart now. And then it had consolidated into this sort of volatile consolidation actually. Over here is just a little pre-introduction of low momentum. So let's move on to there. Here we got our third and last example, a low momentum to high momentum. That's for breakouts, where the market goes from low volatility to high and back to low. You see over there, this is our low momentum, where the histogram becomes so small there that you can barely see it. Then you can see there the candlesticks had made a tight consolidation and that a breakout is imminent. And then you can see that it goes from low momentum to high momentum over here. This little part was most likely, it was going to go for downward momentum, but there was a area of value here, support where buyers probably were buying in, and that caused the price to come up. But ultimately the sellers had pushed it down. And that's a great deal of gain that one can make in a scenario like that, with the momentum breaking out from low momentum to high momentum. There's another one. You see there the price had become all tight, with tight consolidation right up to there, and that goes from low momentum to high momentum from that breakout over here going downward. Naturally this is all below the 200 moving average, so you would definitely look at going short here. But yeah, this is just a general guiding tool that you can use for potential breakouts. Wherever the price is consolidating, it can go in a particular direction, but one should always take it into consideration the higher time frame to see bigger picture in terms of where the price has been going. Just finishing off the breakouts example, I just had to throw this particular chart in. You see there's our low momentum in the histogram, where you can see there's almost no histogram showing here, and that was in this area, and it went from low momentum to high momentum in this particular example. Now what's actually really nice about this chart is that it's a 2-in-1 special. You see here was actually a strong momentum of the price that had happened, and it was immediately met with a reversal. So this was a momentum reversal, as well as you can see here where the MACD line had overextended itself and had to return in its momentum and came back down. So there we go, 2-in-1 special, from low momentum to high momentum, and even a momentum reversal here. Now just to recap, the MACD triggers technical signals when it crosses above to buy, or in my case have a bullish bias, or below to go sell, or in my case have a bearish bias. It's signal 1, and I use the higher time frame to indicate the possible trend to confirm this bullish or bearish bias on a lower time frame that I should apply. So that's my trend filter application. And then when the speed of crossovers is also taken as a signal of markets, if when the market is overbought or oversold, and that would indicate momentum reversal, as we had seen a few good examples there. And the MACD can indicate possible momentum breakouts from low momentum to high momentum. Now, suggested time frames. There is no holy grail. You got to test and see what really works for you based on your trading style and risk tolerance. You might be working on much lower time frames than what I work on, where my entry triggers on my time frames is in 4 hours or 1 hour. Yours might be in 15 minutes or 5 minutes. But there's a general factor that you would work on the time frames, and that would be like a factor of 4 to 6. But over here is a general guideline, because one has to start somewhere. For Forex, I use a weekly time frame to determine my trend bias, area values I determine on the daily, and my entry point on the 4 hour. Or sometimes it's the daily, 4 hour, and the 1 hour. And likewise applies here with stocks and indices. So I use weekly, 4 hour, 1 hour, daily, 1 hour, 15 minutes. Commodities, weekly, 4 hour, 1 hour, daily, 1 hour, and 15 minutes. And that's sort of my general guideline, where I work on the factor of 4 to 6, I guess 4 hour time frame, and I use the 1 hour. That's my factor of 4 that I use there, factor of 4 here. On the weekly it's a factor of 5. In this case it's actually it varies between the US and the British or the London Stock Exchange, because they open different hours. So yeah, I would probably use the 4 hour or even the 8 hour between the two of them. Now just in terms of the MACD, how I use the lines in the histogram, The case use is trend bias. I determine my trend bias on these time frames. I use the histogram when I'm at an area value, and I've determined an area value. I can use the histogram to determine momentum reversals, if there are any, or even momentum breakouts. So yeah, that's basically the recap on the MACD. For a detailed insight on MTA, watch my video on multiple time frame analysis. That one really gives some good insights in terms of working on multiple time frames, because I know it sometimes can be quite confusing, but getting started somewhere can really start giving you some great insight. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like and subscribe button so that you don't miss out. Happy trading, and may the trend be with you.